India, in recent years, has witnessed a string of infrastructure failures, shaking the nation's faith in its development narrative. Bridges have collapsed, buildings have crumbled, and roads have caved in, painting a grim picture of neglect and apathy. These incidents are not just isolated events, but are symptomatic of a larger, systemic issue that plagues the nation's infrastructure. The lack of proper maintenance, oversight, and investment in public works has led to a series of unfortunate events that have had devastating consequences. However, none of these incidents sparked the same level of outrage and despair as the recent collapse of the Shivaji Maharaj statue in location of the statue collapse. This statue was not just a piece of infrastructure, it was a symbol of cultural heritage and pride. This incident, steeped in symbolism and cultural significance, has brought to the forefront a simmering discontent with the state of affairs. The public's reaction was immediate and intense, with protests erupting across the region. People gathered in large numbers, expressing their anger and disappointment. The statue, a towering tribute to the Maratha warrior king, stood as a beacon of pride and inspiration for millions. For years, it had been a site of pilgrimage, a place where people came to pay their respects and draw inspiration from the legacy of Shivaji Maharaj. Its sudden and unexpected collapse sent shockwaves across the country, leaving a void that resonated far beyond the physical space it once occupied. The emotional impact was profound, with many people mourning the loss as if it were a personal tragedy. The incident served as a stark reminder of the fragility of not just concrete and steel, but also of the trust that citizens place in their elected officials. It highlighted the urgent need for accountability and transparency in governance. The visual of the shattered statue, once a symbol of strength and resilience, became a potent metaphor for the perceived failures of governance. It was a wake-up call for the authorities, a clear indication that the status quo was no longer acceptable. It ignited a firestorm of anger and frustration, forcing the nation to confront uncomfortable questions about accountability, transparency, and the true cost of unchecked corruption. The public demanded answers and swift action, calling for a thorough investigation and concrete steps to prevent such tragedies in the future. This incident has become a rallying point for a broader movement advocating for better governance and infrastructure management in India. The collapse of the Shivaji Maharaj statue was not just a physical collapse, it was a symbolic shattering of public trust. This statue, a revered symbol of pride and heritage, lay in ruins, reflecting the broken faith of the people in the authorities responsible for its upkeep. The incident triggered an immediate and visceral reaction, with protests erupting across Maharashtra. The streets of Mumbai and other cities were flooded with people, their faces etched with anger and determination, demanding justice for what they saw as a gross negligence. The wave of protests did not remain confined to Maharashtra. It spread like wildfire to other parts of the country. From the bustling streets of Delhi to the quieter towns in the south, the call for justice resonated everywhere. People from all walks of life took to the streets, their voices united in anger and grief. Students, professionals, homemakers, and senior citizens alike joined hands, showcasing a rare unity in their demand for accountability. They demanded answers, accountability, and justice for what they perceived as a blatant disregard for their heritage and sentiments. The chants of "Justice for Shivaji" echoed through the air as placards and banners called for immediate action. Social media platforms became amplifiers of public outrage, with hashtags like #Shivaji Maharaj statue and #Justice for Shivaji Maharaj trending nationwide. The digital realm buzzed with activity as netizens voiced their discontent and rallied support for the cause. Citizens expressed their anger and disappointment, sharing images of the collapsed statue juxtaposed with messages of condemnation. The visual impact of the broken statue served as a powerful reminder of the incident's gravity. the online space transformed into a virtual platform for collective mourning and a call for action. Influencers, activists, and ordinary citizens alike used their platforms to mobilize support and pressurize authorities to take swift action. News channels and media outlets were inundated with coverage of the incident and its aftermath. Reporters on the ground captured the raw emotions of the protesters, while studio discussions delved into the broader implications of the collapse. The public discourse centered around the need for a thorough investigation, the identification of those responsible, and the implementation of stringent measures to prevent such occurrences in the future. Experts debated the structural integrity of public monuments and the accountability of those in charge. The incident became a litmus test for the government's commitment to transparency and accountability. Officials faced intense scrutiny as they addressed the public, promising a detailed investigation and measures to ensure such a tragedy would not repeat itself. The political ramifications were significant, with opposition parties seizing the moment to question the ruling administration's competence and dedication to preserving cultural heritage. To understand the depth of public sentiment surrounding the Shivaji Maharaj statue collapse, it is crucial to understand the iconic stature of the Maratha king in Indian history. Shivaji Maharaj, born in 1630, was a visionary leader who established the Maratha Empire in western India. His life and achievements have left an indelible mark on the Indian subcontinent. Shivaji Maharaj is not just a historical figure, he is a cultural icon, a symbol of courage, resistance, and good governance. His legacy transcends time, inspiring generations with his tales of valor and strategic brilliance. Every year, his birth anniversary is celebrated with great fervor, reflecting the deep respect and admiration people have for him. He is revered for his military prowess, his administrative acumen, and his unwavering commitment to the welfare of his people. His innovative guerrilla warfare tactics and his ability to unite various factions under a common cause are studied and admired even today. The forts he built and the battles he won are legendary, serving as a testament to his strategic genius. For many, Shivaji Maharaj represents the spirit of resistance against oppression. His fight against the Mughal Empire and other adversaries is seen as a struggle for justice and freedom. This spirit of defiance and resilience continues to resonate with people, especially in Maharashtra, where his legacy is a source of immense pride. His legacy is deeply intertwined with the cultural and social fabric of Maharashtra, where he is considered the epitome of a just and benevolent ruler. Festivals, plays, and literature celebrating his life and achievements are integral to the region's cultural identity. Monuments and statues dedicated to him are not just landmarks, they are symbols of the values he stood for. Statues and memorials dedicated to him are not merely structures of stone and metal, they are seen as embodiments of his values and ideals, serving as constant reminders of his enduring legacy. These statues are places of reverence where people come to pay their respects, seek inspiration, and connect with their heritage. The collapse of the statue, therefore, was perceived as an affront to Shivaji Maharaj's legacy, and by extension, an insult to the sentiments of millions who revere him. It was not just a physical loss, but a symbolic one, shaking the very core of the community's cultural and historical pride. It was seen as a symbol of disrespect towards a revered historical figure and a blatant disregard for the cultural heritage he represents. The incident sparked widespread outrage, with people taking to the streets to express their grief and demand accountability. The emotional impact of the collapse was profound, touching the hearts of many who felt a personal connection to Shivaji Maharaj. This emotional connect with the fallen monument fueled the public outrage and amplified the demand for justice. The calls for restoring the statue and honoring Shivaji Maharaj's legacy grew louder, reflecting the deep-seated respect and love people have for him. The incident served as a reminder of the enduring power of his legacy and the unbreakable bond between Shivaji Maharaj and the people who revere him.